Okay, you want me to say a few words? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm very pleased. The Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum is very pleased to see the growth of our Commonwealth Disabled Youth Forum, and this is the first of 6 seminars that we're supporting between now and March. So I hope you get into those. They'll be running monthly. We think it's really important to build the capacity of our young disabled people because you are the ones who will take the struggle forward. And although the architecture has been put in place for us to claim our rights, it would be naive to not think that current moves, not only in the United States, but around the world where uh, more dictatorial forms of government are taking over, are not going to harm our disability rights, because they will. And we heard recently at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, where the Prime Minister of Jamaica made a very powerful speech. She identified that there are 91 countries in the world now that no longer operate on democratic basis, and only 89 that do. Now, those 89 are within the Commonwealth. So we, the majority of Commonwealth countries, are committed to the Commonwealth Charter, which is to separate powers between the executive, that's the president, prime minister, government, the legislator who make the laws, and the judiciary who enforce the laws. And that's a very important separation of powers that ensures a democratic way of being, and is the way that we will actually get our rights incorporated into law in the country. And then getting the laws is only the first thing. The second thing, as I know you will recognize in trying to get people into work, is to make it difficult for employers to discriminate against disabled people when they go for a job. And so it's really important that we work to get such legislation. It's also important that on our topic today, which is very topical given the impact of global warming, and the experts have made it very clear that the most powerful hurricane that there has ever been, which hit Jamaica 2 days ago and moved very slowly, is a direct cause of global warming, and that is human warming of the atmosphere, mainly caused by people who are not experiencing it, but those who are putting it forward. And the sort of way that the Trump regime in the United States has taken back all the restrictions on hydrocarbons, oil, gas, coal. Drill, baby, drill is their slogan. Well, their drill, baby, drill is leading to people dying in Jamaica and across the world. And so we have to build a strong movement to say, no, the world agreed, looking at the climate science in Paris nearly 20 years ago, that we had to limit the amount of global warming. And secondly, as was agreed at COP28 and 27, that the ones who have actually done this need to pay compensation to the countries that are on the receiving end of this. And we've got COP30 coming up just in a couple of weeks now in Brazil. And we hope very much, with a progressive and democratic government there, that we will move forward on making the rich pay for the impact of global warming on the world. But that in itself is not going to be sufficient. We have to be involved as disabled people in the preparations for any natural hazard, or indeed human-made hazard, such as wars, which we are seeing now in Africa again coming to the fore. People fighting out their sort of teenage fantasies, which it seems to be that most of these warlords do, it has no place in a society that is run by human rights and care and respect for each other. In addition to that, wars create disability. So we have seen large numbers of extra disabled young people joining the ranks of disabled people in Gaza, in Ethiopia and so on, and in the Ukraine. So we know that war creates disability. But disability is not impairment. And I think that's what we need to say. My last point, we need to recognize that what is disability are the barriers that are constructed to stop people who have different impairments, physical, sensory, mental impairments, which is part of the human condition. As long as there have been human beings, there have been impaired people. How people react to us, that's attitudes, and that can be changed. And governments have a responsibility under Article 8 of the UN CRPD to challenge that. They also have a responsibility under Article 11 to prepare for emergency situations. And as we are at least 16% of the world's population, and in areas where there have been wars or disasters more, then they must include us and our organizations in the preparations. And so I would call on all the young people involved here to get involved with those measures in your country so that our views can actually shape the emergency responses before the emergency happens. So I think that's probably enough. Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum will continue to take forward across our 56 countries of the Commonwealth the struggle for our rights. And this has not been something that has been at the forefront of the Commonwealth in their thinking, which represents, after all, 2/5 of the world's population. But we are hoping that by next November, we will have a disability inclusion action plan agreed by the leaders to be put forward in Antigua, where we meet again. And we are putting a big focus on getting as many young people to Antigua as possible, young disabled people, and possibly a whole day on disability at CHOGM. We're in the process of getting that, and we would very much like you to all, through your representative organizations, try and get representation on the government delegations that go to CHOGM next November. So that's something you can all focus on. But I wish you well in your deliberations today, and I won't take up any more time. Thank you.